Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Nashville, Tennessee, Ramana Satsang welcomes you all to our offering for 74th Bhagavan Ramana's Aradhana celebration. It is well known in Skanda Purana that Lord Subramanya made Lord Shiva his disciple and gave him Brahmopadesha and killed Tarakasura and other demons. Out of compassion for mankind, Lord Subramanya has taken human form as Bhagavan Ramana and came down to earth as our beloved Sadguru to destroy Taraka, the ego in all of us, and teach the Omkara Tattva to everyone who seeks refuge at his feet, says Kavyakanta Ganapati Muni. We offer our prostrations to that Brahmanishta, ever abiding as self, devoid of all gunas and resplendent in just the loincloth, through the Sanskrit composition of Sri Vashishta Ganapati Muni, Gurave Tarakaraye, set to music by Srimati Sulochana Natarajan.
Gurave Namaha Sadgurave Namaha Tarakaraye Namaha 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 Gurave Namaha Sadgurave Namaha Tarakaraye Namaha 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 Gurave Namaha Gurave Tarakaraye Gurave Tarakaraye Gurave Tarakaraye Gurave Tarakaraye Gurave Tarakaraye Gurave Tarakaraye Paradeshineva Dhavalena Vasasah Shakalena Veshtita Kati Vishobhina Paradeshineva Dhavalena Vasasah Shakalena Veshtita Kati Vishobhina Paradeshikena Naraveshadarina Shikivahanena Guru Majjagad Bhave Paradeshikena Naraveshadarina Shikivahanena Guru Majjagad Bhave Gurave Tarakaraye Gurave Tarakaraye Gurave Tarakaraye Gurave Tarakaraye Gurave Tarakaraye Gurave Tarakaraye Atita Gunajalaya Naishtika Brahmacharine Namo Maya Manushyaya Gurave Tarakaraye Atita Gunajalaya Naishtika Brahmacharine Namo Maya Manushyaya Gurave Tarakaraye 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 Gurave Namaha Sadgurave Namaha Tarakaraye Namaha 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 Gurave Namaha Sadgurave Namaha Tarakaraye Namaha 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 Gurave Namaha.
Lord Shiva drew his son, Venkataraman, physically to Arunachala on September 1st, 1896, and did not let him out of his sight until Mahanirvana on April 14, 1950. For 54 years, Bhagavan not only lived to show what it means to be self-realized, but also showered his boundless grace and compassion to millions of people who came to him from all walks of life. We present to you a reading of a very moving article written by Professor K. Swaminathan, Mahanirvana of Sri Bhagavan, where he brings out what that physical presence of Bhagavan meant to him and countless other devotees, and the pain of that physical separation after Mahanirvana.
Mahanirvana of Sri Bhagavan, Professor K. Swaminathan. We are meeting today under the shadow of a great calamity, the greatest that could have befallen us, the passing away of our Master Sri Ramana Maharshi. And though it is exactly a month now since it happened, we have hardly recovered yet from the shock of that blow, the poignancy of such grief. It was no small thing, no ordinary good fortune that it had been given to us to move in close contact for several years with the most remarkable man that ever trod this earth in recent times, one who, though he lived in our times, was a direct linear descendant of the Vedic sages and Upanishadic seers, one who was the Vedas personified, one who was an outstanding example of the type described in our scriptures as the Sthita Prajna, Trigunatita, Jivan Mukta, etc. One human to all appearance, and yet one with the divine by reason of that attainment of jnana, which, only according to Gita and all our scriptures, burns out all karma and takes one beyond the endless sea of births and deaths into that heaven of mukti, bliss, liberation, where all is peace and blessedness. Now, if he was only this, a great walking monument of spiritual perfection, standing aloof and apart on the heights of jnana, inaccessible to common folks like me who know little or nothing of the spiritual life, it might have been easier for us to bear this separation. But as you know, he was more than a great spiritual giant. He was the highest master that one could get on earth, who kept up the best traditions of gurus in this country. He was not only our teacher, but our father, mother, friend, one who loved us whether we deserved it or not, whether we were able to make use of it or not. Among the thousands who became his devotees, there were all sorts of and conditions of men with varying degrees of evolution on the spiritual path. All of them got whatever they needed and went satisfied that Bhagavan was looking after them. In this great crowd of his followers, there were certainly some who could establish mental or spiritual contact with him, and who, wherever they were and whether they could obtain physical contact with him or not, were still satisfied and sure that his influence was theirs to draw upon whenever they wanted. To such, the trial that has come upon us all, in the shape of Bhagavan's physical separation from us, may not be hard to bear. But there was a very big class of followers to whom it was a real solace to run up to Bhagavan for physical company, and to whom the mental and spiritual contact, though none the less important or effective, seemed to be in some unaccountable way dependent on his physical frame. Whatever our troubles, whether they were ills of body, financial worries, family quarrels and complications, official oppressions or injustices, or any of the 1,001 things that have been devised by the desire to harass people, some of us had only one way of dealing with them all whenever they became unendurable. We just ran up to Bhagavan and basked in his presence, and somehow the problem had been solved, the position eased, or anyhow You did not seem worried any more. Where and to whom can we run up now? Gone is that beaming smile with which you used to be welcomed into his presence. Gone is that kind mood which you used to take for an assurance that Bhagavan has taken cognizance of your matter and all will be well with you thereafter. With what affection would he not sometimes enquire about your journey? With what motherly solicitude would he not ask you if you had something to eat, and if not, direct you first to feed the inner man and then come to the hall? With what sympathy would he not enquire about any who may be ailing in your family and about whom you may have written to him already? Those who have had such experiences, and their number is legion, find the cruel separation of this Mahanirvana all too hard to bear. Though several months of relentless and memorable disease had prepared us in a way for the inevitable end, when the blow actually fell, we felt, to quote Tennyson, like the unhappy bark that strikes by night a grassy shelf and staggers blindly ere she sink. To borrow a phrase from the same source, we have been widowed, crying, "My Bhagavan, our Bhagavan," etc. All joy and beauty have gone out of our life along with all sense of security. We have become orphans all of a sudden. To many, Bhagavan was not merely Guru, but father and mother in one, not merely as a conventional or polite way of expressing his regard for us, but literally without any exaggeration. For myself, I've had the best affection from him, more than I've had from any relatives or others in this world. I used to address him in all my letters as Ammayappa, which is a beautiful word in Tamil to convey the idea of one who combines in himself the attributes of father and mother, and I used to subscribe myself as Ramana say, that is Ramana's child. And how did he react to this? Was he indifferent how I addressed him? Did he leave me to imagine that he was taking no special notice of my queer way of addressing him? If anybody came to him and sang before him any Tamil song in which the word Ammayappa occurred, he will turn round to see if I'm there, and his eyes will be asking me, "Are you attending? Here is another using your name." In 100 such ways, he has so endeared himself to so many of us that when we find he is no longer at Tirunamalai, for us to run up there and brace ourselves up, or, as we used to say, with Bhagavan's approval, charge our battery afresh with his current, we feel utterly lost, immersed in gloom, literally not knowing which way to turn. In this state of mind, it occurred to me, it would be really something of a consolation, the best consolation that could be had under the circumstances, if I can come across other devotees of Bhagavan, others whom I have come to regard as fellow members with me in Bhagavan's great family, fellow devotees who would remind me of Bhagavan, with whom I can exchange confidences and share experiences, whose company would be an added pleasure even for thinking of Bhagavan and worshipping him. In fact, the company of those who have equal cause for grief with you and who have been dear to you as much as for them is a great consoling factor. That is human experience. This is the urge that made me move in the direction of taking steps to start a center in Madras where Bhagavan's devotees may meet once a week or oftener and console each other in the first place, and in the next place endeavor by various means to keep alive within themselves the light that has been kindled in them by that departed master. Whether the new center or Sabha should also labor for the propagation of Bhagavan's ashram at Tirunamalai is frankly out of my calculation at present. If Bhagavan desires that this small center should, in the fullness of time and as it matures, take upon itself in His judgment and under His guidance such ambitious tasks, by all means let such developments come. But as for me, give me at once some sabha or center, however modest and humble, where I can meet old devotees of Bhagavan, feel as if I was once again in the old atmosphere, and do something in common with them by talk, by reminiscent devotional song, or silent meditation, or all of these in turn, to keep alive and develop the plant of spirituality that Bhagavan has planted in me.
Bhagavan Ramana's words, "Where can I go? I shall always be here," resound in all of us even 74 years after Nirvana. We just celebrated 100 years of Sri Ramanashramam, which is a great testament to the continuous presence of Bhagavan, drawing people to himself from all over the world. Swami Shuddhananda Bharati in this composition reminds us that Bhagavan Ramana is the breath, speech, thoughts, thought-driven action. He is in everything and is everything. He is awareness, grace, love in the heart of all beings that lights up the whole world. Presenting to you a song, Idaya Guhaye, set to music by Sri L. Krishnan.
இதய குகையே இருப்பிடமாக உதய கதிர் போல் உலகெலமொளிரும் அறிவே அருளே அன்பே ரமணா அறிவே அருளே அன்பே ரமணா இதய குகையே இருப்பிடமாக உதய கதிர் போல் உலகெலமொளிரும் அறிவே அருளே அன்பே ரமணா அறிவே அருளே அன்பே ரமணா 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 பேச்சிலும் ரமணன் மூச்சிலும் ரமணன் நினைப்பதும் ரமணன் நெஞ்சினில் ரமணன் பேச்சிலும் ரமணன் மூச்சிலும் ரமணன் நினைப்பதும் ரமணன் நெஞ்சினில் ரமணன் மனத்திலே ரமணன் அனைத்திலும் ரமணன் மனத்திலே ரமணன் அனைத்திலும் ரமணன் மனத்திலே ரமணன் அனைத்திலும் ரமணன் மனத்திலே ரமணன் அனைத்திலும் ரமணன் அறிவே அருளே அன்பே ரமணா அறிவே அருளே அன்பே ரமணா 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 கற்பது ரமணன் நிற்பது ரமணன் இருப்பது ரமணன் புஜிப்பது ரமணன் கற்பது ரமணன் நிற்பது ரமணன் இருப்பது ரமணன் புஜிப்பது ரமணன் உடுப்பது ரமணன் நடப்பது ரமணன் படுப்பது ரமணன் விழிப்பது ரமணன் உடுப்பது ரமணன் நடப்பது ரமணன் படுப்பது ரமணன் விழிப்பது ரமணன் அறிவே அருளே அன்பே ரமணா அறிவே அருளே அன்பே ரமணா 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 மந்திரமணிமரும் தெந்திரம் அவனே சிந்தையும் அவனே செய்கையும் அவனே மந்திரமணிமரும் தெந்திரம் அவனே சிந்தையும் அவனே செய்கையும் அவனே அவனவனது நீ நான் என உலவும் அவனியும் அவனே ஆருயிர் சிவனே அவனவனது நீ நான் என உலவும் அவனியும் அவனே ஆருயிர் சிவனே அறிவே அருளே அன்பே ரமணா அறிவே அருளே அன்பே ரமணா இதய குகையே இருப்பிடமாக உதய கதிர் போல் உலகெலமொளிரும் அறிவே அருளே அன்பே ரமணா அறிவே నీవే అరుళే అందే రమణ 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 రమణ.
April 14th, 1950, at 8:47 p.m., Guru Ramana, the embodiment of light and enlightenment, left his mortal coil, witnessed by many people as a luminous shooting star moving across the sky and merging with his father, Arunachala. We conclude our offering by presenting a song composed by Muruganar Swami in praise of Shiva Arunachala and his son Bhagavan Ramana. He says, "Glory to Arunachala Hill and Guru Ramana, destroyer of births and deaths and bestower of self-knowledge. Glory to being our father and mother, shining taller than earth and sky in the heart of every being." The Telugu translation of this song is by Y.V. Venkateshwar Rao and the music by Dr. S. Rajeshwar Rao.
గిరి కీర్తించుము గురు కీర్తించుము జ్ఞానదాత మన ప్రభు కీర్తించుము గిరి కీర్తించుము గురు కీర్తించుము జ్ఞానదాత మన ప్రభు కీర్తించుము జనన మరణ భయ రోగ నివారిణి దివ్యౌషధమని మది కీర్తించుము జనన మరణ భయ రోగ నివారిణి దివ్యౌషధమని మది కీర్తించుము వెంకటరమణుని పొగడుము పొగడుము భక్తి కొలువు మరుణాచల రమణుని వెంకటరమణుని పొగడుము పొగడుము భక్తి కొలువు మరుణాచల రమణుని తల్లిదండ్రులను తగకొనియాడుము జ్ఞానరూపునన వరదముదల్చుము తల్లిదండ్రులని తగకొనియాడుము జ్ఞానరూపునన వరదముదల్చుము గిరి కీర్తించుము గురు కీర్తించుము జ్ఞానదాత మన ప్రభు కీర్తించుము జనన మరణ భయ రోగ నివారిణి దివ్యౌషధమని మది కీర్తించుము శ్వాసమును తించు దేహము స్తుతించు మీని మించు వేదాంతమును తించు శ్వాసమును తించు వేగమును తించు నీని మించు వేదాంతమును తించు వెంకటరమణుని పొగడుము పొగడుము భక్తి కొలువు మరుణాచల రమణుని వెంకటరమణుని పొగడుము పొగడుము భక్తి కొలువు మరుణాచల రమణుని గిరి కీర్తించుము గురు కీర్తించుము జ్ఞానదాత మన ప్రభు కీర్తించుము గిరి కీర్తించుము గురు కీర్తించుము జ్ఞానదాత మన ప్రభు కీర్తించుము జనన మరణ భయ రోగ నివారిణి దివ్యౌషధమని మది కీర్తించుము పదములు కొలువుము శిరమును కొలువుము అతీతుడనంతుడాతని కొలువుము పదములు కొలువుము శిరమును కొలువుము అతీతుడనంతుడాతని కొలువుము భువిని నుతించుము దివిని స్మరించుము దివి భువి రేలెడు దొరను జపించుము భువిని నుతించుము దివిని స్మరించుము దివి భువి లేలెడు దొరను జపించుము వెంకటరమణుని పొగడుము పొగడుము భక్తి కొలువు మరుణాచల రమణుని వెంకటరమణుని పొగడుము పొగడుము భక్తి కొలువు మరుణాచల రమణున్ గిరి కీర్తింతుము గురు కీర్తింతుము జ్ఞానదాత మన ప్రభు కీర్తింతుము జనన మరణ భయ రోగ నివారిణి దివ్యౌషధమణి మది కీర్తింతుము గిరి కీర్తింతుము గురు కీర్తింతుము జ్ఞానదాత మన ప్రభు కీర్తింతుము జనన మరణ భయ రోగ నివారిణి దివ్యౌషధమణి మది కీర్తింతుము జనన మరణ భయ రోగ నివారిణి దివ్యౌషధమణి మది కీర్తింతుము.
Immense thanks as always to Arunachala Ashrama and Bangalore Ramana Center for our humble offering today. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya.